Hey all, it's Morgan the Feral coming at you with another video. My goodness, it's season 1. Can you believe this? I can't. So I spent all night researching this season just for you. I did not really play the game very much. I just mostly was researching just so I could learn what's up and help you. I did learn some things. This video might be a bit on the longer side because I want to provide you guys as much information as possible so you guys can make some good informed decisions, because there were a lot of questions going around last night about what's this, what's that, what do I do, help. So in my opinion, this game is very dynamic. There is no right or wrong way to do anything. So if I can provide you guys with some information, then you guys can make better informed decisions for what works for you and your teams, okay? So the first thing I'm going to say is you're going to look at this and you're going to say, oh my God, Morgan, what did you do? You're right. What did I do? Bad Morgan, very bad Morgan. And you're correct about that. So I like to think of myself as a quasi free to play player. Wow, that was hard. In that I don't spend a lot of money on this game. In fact, I spend probably maybe like under $100 a month on this game. All I buy is like I'll get a new hero and then I'll get fragments and skill manuals for the new hero. And that's mostly the extent of what I do. For this season, I kind of did a little splurge. A little splurgy here. I got the new buildings because I wanted to kind of get a little bit of an edge on this season. One, for science for y'all. And two, I wanted to have a leg up. I wanted to figure out what was going on for science to get ahead of the curve and see what's going on here. I bought before I read and did research. And this is where I deserve to be put in the dungeon. These extra buildings you don't need. I've learned after the fact. You don't need them. So if you're thinking about buying them, you don't need them, okay? Yeah, there are things you might want to think about purchasing in season 1. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you not to buy anything, guys. But if you're on a budget on this game like I am, this was not one of the things that needed to be purchased. Just going to throw that out there out of the gate. Okay, so let's begin. So with season 1, the way I see this is there's 2 main goals in this game, okay? 2 main goals. The first goal is going to be an individual goal, which is we're going to be working to boost our corrosion resistance, okay? That's an individual solo goal. The second goal is to collect oil. All right, and this is going to be an alliance/team goal, the collection of oil. Now, the battle for oil is going to begin the second week of season 1, and there's not a lot of information out right now within our games, but what I've found by looking at the information put out by the pros is that, one, the pros complain about the oil clash event. They complain because a lot of troops are used for that event. The rewards are not awesome, and the pros are complaining about it. So stay tuned for more information on that as I find more and the game starts to roll stuff out for it. But that'll start appearing in the second week of season 1. So those are the 2 main goals. Now, let's talk about the corrosion, okay? So you have your ship, right? We all have our ship. We're going to be building our ship this season. That ship is going to increase or boost our corrosion resistance. Corrosion resistance is going to allow us to defeat infected sea creatures. Okay, so all of those infected fiends or just infecteds in general, they've all been morphed into sea creatures. And honestly, I kind of think they're adorable. Who's seen the surfing infected fiends? They're hilarious. Or the hermit crabs. Oh, adorable. Anyway, so as we defeat these infected sea creatures, they're going to allow us to obtain special resources. Those resources allow us to upgrade the ship, and thus it becomes a continuous loop. Okay? And I'm going to walk you through all of this throughout this video. The higher your corrosion resistance is, the higher the level of the infecteds you can kill. All right, so we really want to upgrade our ship, boost our corrosion resistance, get it as high as possible so we can kill more sea creatures, obtain more resources, and keep going. All right, moving over to the world changes. So we've all noticed the big bad ship in our harbors, okay? There were 2 choices of ship, and I'm going to walk you through those step by step coming up in a couple moments here. You can, as an FYI, you can change your ship. You can change it 3, I repeat, 1, 2, 3, 3 times per season via special coupons that are going to pop up, and I'll show you that coming up. There were 2 different ships. There was a resource ship and a battle ship. Okay. Then we all know that there's a cockpit. There's going to be some other things on that ship that we can construct too. We've got some resources with the contaminated monsters and the corrosion resistance. Moving on. Season rewards. Okay. So again, I said that our personal individual goals are going to be to improve our corrosion resistance. We do that by upgrading our ship. So kind of the metaphor I want you to think of here with the ship is think of your ship as the power plant. Well, as a second-ish power plant. Almost like the power plant of the sea. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so your individual goal is to improve your corrosion resistance, but the alliance goal is to collect deep sea crude, aka crude oil. Okay. So the power or your alliance in general is going to be collecting crude oil. We earn crude oil by recapturing cities again. And I'm going to show you why cities are important for collecting oil. And so the more oil our alliance earns in general, basically through the cities that we recapture, we're going to earn alliance-wide rewards. The oil totals are going to be used to divvy up rankings for the alliance and the state at the end of the season. Okay, so this isn't exactly just a alliance individual competition. Yes, we're going head to head with other alliances, absolutely, but we're also working together as a state to win as a state, if that makes sense. Okay, so we need to be nice to each other. Then there's going to be some solo achievement rewards. Basically, the higher your corrosion resistance, the more rewards you earn. So you really want to level up your ship as much as possible. I'm going to let you guys look at the rewards on your own because I just want to try to keep the time here as minimal as possible. State events, right, real quick. So we've got the ship that we're going to be upgrading. We're going to be reclaiming cities all over again. And then we have the oil clash battle. This is the battle for the oil. And this is what I'm still looking into and researching for you guys. And then there's the season reset. So at the end of the season, the ship is going to be reclaimed. Any buffs that were existing from that ship are no longer going to be active. And then the season skills will be reset as well. So let's take a close look at all of this. Just so you know, this is where you find those bonuses or those rewards. So take a peek at these in your free time. Okay, so let's go into depth and detail for all of these things. So here we are at our main season 1 page. I'm going to click on the season 1 objective. Okay, so here, this is where we're trying to level up our ship and get as much corrosion resistance as possible. I'm going to click this little wiggling chest here, get some rewards. Okay, so I think this reward here, this is fuel. All right, so I got some fuel. I got some class change voucher. So this, I think this is the one that lets me change my ship, but I'm not particularly sure about that. These are, you know what these are. Why am I explaining that? We know what those are. Okay. So that's that. So now we're going to hit go. So here's my cockpit. Okay. So right now we all should be working on upgrading our cockpit. This is what's going to provide our corrosion resistance. And it also provides us some ocean coin which we use to upgrade our seasonal skills. So the seasonal skills, if we go to skills, seasonal skills are these special skills that only exist during the event. And basically they kind of provide us some special buffs, all right? They can be activated once a day. So here I've got Elite Strike. This is activated for me. So what this is doing, it's instantly gaining 8,000 top tier troops upon use. Cool. Okay. And here it kind of tells you if you leave the city, select your settlement to use a skill. So if I leave where I'm at, it tells me what to do. Okay. So that's one skill. I have not yet activated my second skill. So this is emergency medics. So it will instantly heal 5,000 unhealed wounded troops in the hospital. So I'm going to activate this. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Healed up. All right. So these are skills here that are mostly made for like when you're actively in battle. That's what the battleship is really good for. Battle, right? Hence battleship. But these skills can be activated every day, right? You can keep using them over and over every day. Where am I? Additionally, some skills can be shared with friends. And people may ask for help with certain skills, and you can tap their settlement to help them. I have not gotten to that part yet, so I can't show you that, but that is something that can be activated. You can develop skills as well. So this is think of this like the research area. You want to be sure to level these up. All right, so you're leveling them up with your ocean coins. Okay. Now this right here is how you change your ship. Okay. Now this is important to go through. So I have chosen the battleship. And this tells you what the skills are. So this is one skill I have used right now. I already went through that. This is the healing skill. I went through that too. I also have a furious assault skill where I will increase my troop damage by 5% for 1 hour. I have this United Fury skill where if I initiate or join a rally, I'm going to boost all members' damage by 5% for 1 hour. And then I've got this Ruthless Verdict skill where I use a non-allied player's shelter to cause 5% of its garrison troops into critical condition. So that's pretty cool. Compared to the more resources-based ship, this one is really good for like gathering, okay? So this one's going to allow you to instantly gain 4,000 fresh water and fuel, instantly reduces all building queues or times by 4 hours, increases building speed by 15% for you and a selected ally for 60 minutes. So this is where that sharing comes into play that I talked about. Increases research speed by 15% for you and a selected ally for 60 minutes. In 60 minutes reduces damage taken in battle by 5%. So like, and I have a little flip-a-floppy thing that I could change to if I wanted. So there are coupons that you can use to change your ships. I would advise probably thinking long and hard about when you plan to flip-flop your ships throughout the season. Because there will be times, I would use these strategically, right? There will be times when you want the resources ship in use because you can gain so many resources. There will be times when you want your battleship when we're going into battle, but you can't, because there are only a certain number of those coupons to let you flip-flop ships. You can't just be like, well, it's now gathering time during the versus week, so I'm going to just use my gathering ship. And now it's Arcadia, so I'm going to switch to my battleship. And you can't do that every single week. So we have to be strategic with how we do this, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's go ahead and we're going to upgrade our cockpit here. So I'm going to click upgrade. So here we go. If everything's all set, we're going to say upgrade. And I'm going to ask for help. Now, there will be an opportunity to upgrade these other two parts of the ship in coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. Now, a couple of words on upgrading the ship, right? When you upgrade the cockpit, it did ask for additional resources. Those additional resources come from the water purifier. There's also the oil refinery. Like I said earlier, you don't need the extra buildings to make this happen, right? That was foolish on my part. I fully admit it. That was a bad Morgan. Bad Morgan. You don't need them, okay? But also, the other advice I have is be very mindful of versus, right? Versus is still going on. Today's Chief Stamina Day, Intel Mission Day, Gear Scraps Day, right? And Gathering Day. So, we don't want to waste speed ups on our ship today because it's not construction speed up day, right? So please be very mindful of that. Versus is still going on. Yes, it's season 1. We're all very excited, but let's cash things in at the right time to get good points in the versus event, okay? Because these opponents look pretty spicy. Okay. Now, remember, this cockpit is going to allow us to fight infected because it's boosting our corrosion resistance. So how does this work? So let's go to our wilderness. Now, first of all, we have to start fighting these guys all over again to get all the way up to 30. All right, so let's search for a level 12 infected. Now, one thing I want to point out is I don't have enough corrosion resistance to fight this guy. So what they're saying is that if I was to fight him, the damage that I would deal would be in such a negative deficit, it would really hurt me as a player, okay? So see, the troop damage would be almost like, that's 41% damage. What? Like, this is not what we want. So what you want to do is you want to go down a level. Let's go down to 11. And see, now I'm in the green. I have enough corrosion resistance to attack this. Cute. Look how cute he is. Look, what is that? A corrupted lobster. Oh, I want him to be a pet. But we're going to match the power here. So we're going to march this guy over and we're going to attack that. Another way that you can find what to kill is by going through Monster Purge. And so you can, go through an attack in this manner and get rewards that way. And it wants me to search for level 12 infected, but I don't have enough corrosion resistance. I need to keep upgrading my ship. All right, so we're going to keep working on that. Going to keep on working on that. All right, so that's what we're doing with the infecteds. All right, so you want to make sure your infecteds and the infected fiends are in the green. Okay, and so if you're joining rallies, be sure that you're joining rallies that are in the green, not red. Okay, because you're going to have so much damage, unnecessary damage to your troops. Okay. Back to the season 1 screen. Oh, I showed you the Monster Purge. Let's go through season progress. So season progress is where we can collect rewards for alliance achievements. You can donate resources to each of these. And basically, once we have donated all of our, once we have, filled up these resources, the chest will unlock and you can collect the chest. Okay. Simple as that. Back to the season 1 screen. Then we have the hero promotion. Now this, I want to really talk about this. This is important. So please, please, please listen up. This is a cool feature of season 1. It's cool, but it has some downsides, okay? So we can upgrade Lucky from SR status to SSR status. That's so cool. But there's big benefits to this. But there's also huge downsides. So pay attention. Because if you are in a position like I am, right, with Lucky, and you are nowhere near in a position close to unlocking this achievement, you may not want to think about forcing this to go through. What am I talking about, right? What the hell, Morgan? So let's look at this. This is not a gift alone. This game does not hand you presents, right? The free presents are like 3 purple gems and 1 minute of speed ups, right? This game does not hand you freebies. There's always a huge, huge payoff. So the first thing is that Lucky needs to have maxed stars. As an SR, to be upgraded as an SSR, she needs 10 gold stars. 1. Okay? If she has 10 gold stars, then she can be an SSR. So that must be why we've been doing all these stupid Saw Blade Blitz events, is in anticipation of just this, okay? So if you are close to getting 10 stars, then this might be something you want to try out. Second, if you promote her to SSR status, her star level is going to be reset at 6 stars. So you lose your 10 stars and you drop down to 6. Okay, 6. Now, all those fragments will be sent back to your mail. They're not just going to disappear in space. You get those fragments back. But. Now, it costs you twice as much shards or frags to level up those stars. All right. So now it's going to cost you 100 fragments to rank her up. So to get 1 star, it's going to cost 600, right? 600 fragments just for 1 star. That's a huge cost. All right. But if you've already made a huge headway with Lucky as it is, and you're like close to 10 stars or you've achieved 10 stars, this leap might make sense for you. Okay. But if you're in my situation where she has no stars, this does not make sense for me. Okay. We're not done with the negatives. Okay. I'm not done with the negatives. The other negative is that her skills are going to be reset to level 1, but you do get everything refunded back to you. Okay. But skills are reset to level 1. So you kind of are starting over with Lucky. Let's look at the positives, right? Morgan, you're so negative. Let's look at the positives. All right. There's huge positives though, right? Her stats are majorly increased. Look at this. Her hero attack goes from 40,000 all the way up to 53,000, almost 54. Woo! Hero defense, 8,000 to almost 11. Hero health, almost 3 million up to 3.5 million. Like these are huge stats. So that's positive. The other really great thing is the skills, right? So before her current released an arc that dealt damage of 667.2%. Now it's going to deal damage of 1,000.8%. Whoa! And then her special skill, she would boost all stats by 20%. Now it's 40. It doubled. All right. So, and then don't forget, if we're resetting all those skills, we're resetting that stamina skill of hers, right? Where she uses less stamina to attack than other heroes. So we have to reset that as well. So it's a weighing game with Lucky. There's positives, there's negatives. What works for you? Okay. In my opinion, if you're in a position close to this or at this level where you have these 5 stars, by all means, make her an SSR. If you're in my position where you're nowhere near this, it probably isn't in your best interest. But going forward, I think those like events like Sawblade Blitz might be a little bit of a clue that something's coming. Something's coming. Okay, the last thing I want to show you guys is the cities. Why cities are important, why we have to reclaim them. So if we like zoom way out. Okay, so if we like look here at a metropolis, for example. Oh my goodness. All right, metropolis. So if we look at this, ooh, it's like the Kraken. Okay, so it says deep sea crude. It's producing 6 gallons of oil. I'm gonna guess 6 gallons. 6 gallons of oil an hour. Okay, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of oil an hour. So like that, metropolis is not exactly the most oil-worthy location. If we look at the research center is going to be producing 10 gallons of oil an hour. All right, so that's a little bit better. The military base, $20 an hour. So the cities that's why we're reclaiming the cities, and that's why the cities are so important, because we need to collect that oil. Because that oil is going to be important for these objectives, right? We need to unlock all these chests and try to win in that regard. So I hope that this was beneficial to you. I hope this kind of explained what's up, what's happening. Reach out if you have any questions at all, or if I can like help you figure things out more. I'm still researching this as we go. But yeah. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful. Take care. Bye. Have fun. This is fun, isn't it?